Hello fly fishermen, let's talk about the fly rod selection. I divided the fly rods into the three separate categories in terms of action: slow, medium and fast. And I would like to show you some usability of that kind of fly rods against the distance of the fly cast. So it is really simple classification: long casts, medium casts and short casts. And I would like to also put some kind of line throw, which is not the cast, but it's the most delicate move of the fly line in all fly fishing, which is simply mending. Very important technique, especially if you really like catch a fish with wet flies. So let's create some draft, because it's not the chart about the detailed properties of that kind of fly rods. It's only a draft, the whole picture of the usability of the fly rods with different actions. So the fast fly rods are the best for long distances. So we can put 10 out of 10. For medium, 6, and for short, 3. I'd like to put 0 out of 10 for mending, because fast action fly rods almost doesn't work under that kind of weak line throw up the stream. For the medium, the long casts can be 6 out of 10. But that kind of tools are the best for medium distances. So I put 10. And for short ones, I'd like to put 7. And for mending, you can feel something. So let's say 5 out of 10. And we can also have something like slow action fly rods, full flex ones. For long distances, I'd like to put 2, because they are not a good tool for long casts. For medium, it is much better. Let's say 5. But these tools are the best for short casts. So I put 10, and also for mending 10, because slow action fly rods are working by its own weight. So you even don't need any fly line put through your guides to move the whole blank during even really gentle movement of the fly rod. And let's talk about the fly fishing companies and their selling strategies. So, as you know, they are not non-profit organizations, they are commercial ones. So, they created a lot of fancy and amazing videos with high line speed and tight loops, because they are so sexy, with the biggest trouts on the planet. And that kind of videos have a huge impact on your subconscious and emotion. So, if you buy the fly rod, this is your curve of decision. You think about the longest casts. You forgot about your fishing days when you catch the most of the fish really close to you, but you dream about the long casts to mimic the situations comes from that kind of videos. So this is your emotion. This is your emotional state. But at the end of the day, you go to your stream where the trouts are not so big as on these videos, and you mend all the time, and you catch the most of your fish really close to you, and some fish you catch a little bit farther, and very small amount of your fish you catch after really long casts during your fishing. So that kind of curve is simply your normal fishing. And as you can see, with your fast fly rod, you are simply out of the game, because at least 90% of cases you have the tool which is not so good as the slower action fly rods. And your fly rod selection based on the fancy videos with fast fly rods and high line speed and tight loops is getting worse, because fast and medium fast action fly rods are not properly described. I created the chart based on the data comes from stickmanrods.com website, and I don't want to put the names of the fly rods, but believe me, these are the most expensive ones on the planet. These are the best fly rods on the market. And as you can see, the 5-weight fly rods are really 6 or even 7. So most of them are much stronger than the description on the blank. So if you go back to our previous chart, we can simply downgrade the rating of the fast action fly rods for medium and short casting. So let's go down from 3 to 2 and from 6 to 5. So it is getting worse. And for most of you, this is your fly fishing. But this one is your emotions and subconscious after some advertisements. So I strongly suggest to you that you should refuse your emotions and design your own fly fishing to your own conditions on the water. Remember about the sizes of your trouts in your stream, about the size of the stream itself, about the most common distance you cast on the fishing days. So probably you need medium action fly rod or even slow. And let's go back to this chart with the data comes from the stickmanrods.com, and let's say something. Why is that? Why fly fishing companies are lying you about the number of the fly rod? Because these numbers are something like effective rod numbers of the fly rods, measured by the common sense method. So, for at least 2 decades or even 3 decades, fly fishing companies compete to each other about the higher and higher recovery speed. And this is the fair way to achieve their goals, like blanks constructions or higher carbon fiber modules and something like that. But unfair way to achieve this goal is to create the special conditions to higher recovery speed, because one of the most important component of higher recovery speed is the relationship between the number of the rod and the number of the fly line. So, if you produce the stronger fly rod than the description on the blank, the fly fisherman can feel that fly rods are better because of their recovery speed. But it's not true. So if you buy an average 5 fly rod, you end up with 6 or 7 in at least 80% of cases on the market today. So remember about your fly fishing conditions. How many fish you catch on every distance. And be careful about your emotions and fancy advertisements on YouTube and other social media and so on. So good luck, and design your fly fishing alone without any impact of the fly fishing industry. Thank you very much.